these two boxes of Rallyman are jam-packed with possibilities, and it's my intention to highlight all of the interesting things you can do with them. This is Shakedown. In today's Shakedown, we're going to try our best to get nice and close to the walls around Bathurst in an attempt to show off some circuit-specific characteristics. Tracks come in all shapes and sizes, each with their own challenges. Up here on Mount Panorama, the challenge is to not collide with the walls, because if you do, the narrow nature of this part of the track means other drivers are likely to have as bad a day as you. How can we bring that kind of day-ruining seriousness to Rallyman? Well, first of all, we need to get Mount Panorama to the table, so we'll be using ODaly's Real Circuit Setup Guide to do so. It's playable as is, of course, but Aaron has also given us the idea of circuit-specific characteristics, which we can make use of to tweak the gameplay for a given circuit. Most of the rules change the makeup of the damage bag. If you're racing a particularly tricky circuit, you can reduce the likelihood of drawing green flag tokens, for example, or if you're in the middle of the desert, you can remove all the weather change tokens. The rule that interests me most for Mount Panorama is the urban rule, which says that cars suffering a 00 loss of control will remain on track and therefore become quite the obstacle to drive around. We could apply this rule to the entire track, but for an even more thematic race over the mountain, we can apply it only to the tiles in the twisty bit at the top. Doing so will really make it feel like we've got some obstacles to avoid should anyone lose control in this section of the course. We're going to be racing in the GT6 on regular asphalt tyres. A sunny start to the race, though with what I'm about to say with regards to our opponents, that may soon change. We're racing against all the other GT6s today, and we're going to have to overtake them as we start from the back. I'll be using ODaly's driverless cars, which is another system that you can make use of to populate your races. In a nutshell, these cars will move a minimum of 3 spaces, and if they ever crash, they will crash in gear 00, which is exactly what we want to have happen around the top of the circuit. To try and force those crashes to happen, each of our opponents are amateurs, but it'll be up to the way the dice fall as always. If nobody crashes, or worse, if it's only me who crashes, so be it, that's racing. This race will likely be a mess, but hopefully a fun one. The table is full of Rallyman, and I have quite the challenge ahead of me, both logistically and strategically, as we try to make our way from last to first around Mount Panorama. Let's kick things off. Let us roll a couple of brake dice for our driverless cars. And we'll move the yellow car 4 spaces, following the racing line where it can. Moving to the outside to finish in 5th gear on the straight. The green car is also going to move 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. And overtake the yellow car. Full turn order. The purple car is going to move 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3. Do they crash on the first corner? They do. They have rolled 3 hazards at least for their roll. They're going to put themselves into gear 00. Now, we're going to pull a single piece of damage for them. Most of them won't apply, of course, apart from yellow flags and weather. So the -1 brake die is effectively a green flag, so that's no bother. Luckily for us, they have spun out off the track. We are not in the twisty urban section where they would remain on course, so they are not in the way for us to make progress around the Bathurst circuit. The blue car is going to move 5 places. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And take turn order in 5th gear. The red car is going to move 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. Park on the apex in 2nd gear. And then we are going to try to get the jump on it by moving into 3rd gear from the start. We can't do anything else with the dice that we've got, and if we want to overtake it now, then we can do so with those 3 dice. I'm going to go flat out with those, and generate some focus. Gets us ready for the next round. The blue car has turn order and we'll move 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ends in second gear. Ready for the corner ahead. The green car moves 4 spaces as well. Also ends in second gear. And the yellow car moves 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. And ends in second gear. Behind them is us. We are in third gear. We need to drop down to second to obey speed limit. We need to coast past the red car. We don't really want to get up to too much speed because we're only going to end up blocked. However, we do want to be in at least fifth gear so that we are in a position to overtake the red car, who will probably also finish in fifth. So we're going to do something like that. It means we only move 1 space on the next turn, but we'll worry about that in future. The dice so far are good. The 3 is a hazard, the 4 is good, the coast is good, and the 5 is good. We have moved into this space in fifth gear, and we wait to see what the red car could do to keep up with us. They move 5 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. They also move into fifth gear. The purple car comes back onto the track in gear 0, ready for the next round. So we know that the red car is going to be blocked, but we still need to roll for its movement to see if it loses control. So it has 1 hazard symbol. It has moved less than 3 spaces, so we need to roll 2 more break dice. If there are 2 more hazards, which there are, then it loses control and it goes into gear 00 as it slams into the back of the blue car. Again, it is not in the twisty section, so it is off track for the purposes of a 00 spin. And that does allow us to slow down a little for the corner. We are next. We're going to roll a gear 4 die flat out, get a hazard, no worries, and we're going to move 1 space to end in 4th gear. We are then going to clear this blockage. The yellow car is going to move 5 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and end in 5th gear. The green car is going to move 5 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and end in 5th gear. And the blue car is going to move 5 spaces and end in 5th gear, taking turn order for the next round. These guys are going to have to funnel into 2 lanes eventually. Finally then is the purple car right at the back, moves 4 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4, to end in 5th gear. So despite that spin, they are going to overtake us on the next round. Okay, the blue car is going to move 4 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4, park themselves on the apex to the corner. The green car behind them is going to move 5 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, puts them there in 2nd gear as well. The yellow car is going to move 4 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4 is the most movement they can do. They're going to get into 5th gear, so that's going to cause them problems on the next turn. The purple car is going to overtake us 5 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're going to end here in 2nd gear. So that gives us a chance of getting past them if we can work it out. Right, we're in 4th gear. We have some focus, but not much. We're going to probably need to come down all the way to 1 at the apex. Oop. And then overtake the purple car in 2nd gear. And then we're going to want to come out 3rd, 4th, 5th. We'll try to keep turn order. I don't want to go up to 6th because we're only going to end up blocked behind these slow cars up ahead. So I don't need to take that risk. We're going to roll 1 by 1. If we stop early, so be it, especially when there's a hazard on your first coast. I don't have enough to pay for this break. That's our 2nd hazard. I'm going to risk the 2. 2 is good. I only have enough to pay for 2 of these dice, so I'm going to risk the 3. And then I'm going to pay 3 focus for our last couple of dice. That'll put us there in 5th gear. And finally, the red car rejoins the circuit in gear 0. New round, we are coming up to the tight, twisty section. The yellow car is going to move first. They want to move 4 spaces, but they can't because they are blocked. If we get 2 more hazards, which we don't, they would spin out. So they remain in 5th gear, awaiting the next turn. We are going to just coast up alongside them. Can I get down from 5th to 1st? Yes, with my brakes I can. Hopefully there won't be a change of weather. So what I'm going to do is coast into the middle and then coast into the inside lane space. I'm going to go flat out to generate a couple more focus, and that will give me the inside lane on the next turn from the yellow car. Next to move is the blue car. Now the blue car is going to move 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're going to end in 5th gear on that corner. The green car behind them is also going to move 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're going to end only in 3rd gear. And the purple car is going to try to catch up with us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They manage it. And finally, the red car right at the back is going to move 5 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're going to want to be in the outside, and they can manage it. They're in 5th gear for the next round. Okay, lots of high-speed cars. Will any of them crash? The blue car takes things first. 5 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Puts them there in 4th gear. Behind them is us. Now we need to break down very quickly into 1st gear. That's a lot of break dice. We can then coast our way out of the space. We need to plan an overtake, which is unfortunate. We've got to go the long way. We're going to have to go like that into 3rd gear, up into 4th, over into 5th. We are going into every side of the track. I also want to move up to gear 6, or at least plan it. Probably going to get congested, but I don't know how far we'll get with this heavy brake. We're going to find out 1 by 1. The brake was perfect. The coast is good. The coast is good. The 2 is good. Don't tell me I could have gone flat out on this roll. Could have gone flat out on this roll. So we break down and then come the longest way through all of the spaces to end there in gear 6. not too bad at all. Let's see what the yellow car can do to keep up. They move 5 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They come here in 5th gear. The purple car moves 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. They end in 3rd gear. The red car is next to move, moves 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. Stays in 5th gear. And finally, the green car moves 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that puts them in 5th gear over there, giving us someone to overtake. Not too tricky for us. That was the end of that round. Right, we are moving on. Will anyone crash in the twisty section? Let's see. Hopefully not us. We need to at least coast around the side of the green car. And I wonder if going for distance will be our best option. If we go 6, 5, we go for, it will be a hazard in that space. So I might not, I suppose I could instead drop to 3 and end in 4th gear and then slow down on the next turn. That might be more preferable. Let's see how far we get. I'm going to roll one by one. We don't have a lot of focus. We are good so far. We are good with the brake. Last 2 turns, I could have gone flat out. Weren't to know, we are in that space in 4th gear, awaiting the results of all of these driverless cars. Up next is the green car. Green car moves 4 places. 1, 2, 3, 4. They come alongside us in 4th. They're going to block up the circuit for a lot of people. Right, next up is the yellow car. Yellow car moves 4 places. 1, 2, 3, 4. They are in 5th gear. It's going to get mighty condensed in a moment. The red car at the back moves 5 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ending in 3rd gear. The blue car is going to want to move 5 spaces. They only move 1 space. They haven't rolled enough hazards to lose control, even though they got 2 hazards on their next set of dice. So they will end in 4th gear. And finally, the purple car moves 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. They will end in 5th gear. We are going to potentially see a crash from yellow. They want to move 5 places. They can only move 2. Unfortunately, they absolutely haven't lost control. They're in 4th gear. You can't get a crash when you want one. Let's see if purple can manage it. Nope. 1, 2, 3, 4. They wanted to move 5. But that was enough. They're on gear 4 corner as well. So they're in 4th gear. Green has overtaken us for turn order. So they're going to move 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. Park on the apex in 2nd gear. And then we are behind them. What are we going to do? Again, we want to be there in 2nd gear at least. We could make it easy for ourselves by dropping through the gears to end in 1st gear. It's not going to be very good for turn order, but hopefully I can go flat out on this roll to get some focus. And if not, we might engineer a crash. As it happens, we don't. We are moving coast 4, 3, 2, coast 1. We are ending in first gear. On the outside of that corner, that gets us 6 focus tokens. And we see what happens behind us. The blue car has turn order. Going to move 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're going to end in second gear. Yellow car has already moved, so is purple, so it's down to the red car, moving 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. Uses the long space to try and catch up. Ends its turn in 5th gear. Another round. We are still looking for a crash. The red car has potentially done it. 1, 2, 3. They are going to lose control. They are in 0-0 on that dangerous corner, but they are not going off track. They have somehow flipped over and bounced off the wall. Unfortunately for us, to test out the rule, it has happened when it's not really in a position to cause a lot of problems. The yellow and the purple cars are just going to filter their way through. They would lose a gear, but it doesn't affect them. It's effectively a green flag. That was the excitement so far then. There is still a chance for someone to crash. Will it be the yellow car? No, it will move 5 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And they will end in second gear on the corner there. The purple car might crash. 1, 2, 3. Have they crashed? Nope, they are safe. They have made it around the stricken red car and have taken a high-speed corner, ready for the next round. Up next is the green car. Green car moves 5 spaces. However, we have forced them to move over a hazards. They're only going to move 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Puts them over here in third gear. The blue car behind them is going to move 5 spaces. But again, we have forced them to cross a hazard. So they're going to move 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Puts them on the apex in third gear. And then we are going to try to overtake them. We are going to have to start with gear 2 and then gear 3, coast, coast, and then we're going to end on the inside in 4th gear. Again, I'm going to go flat out. 5 more focus is nothing to scoff at. We haven't lost control. So we are in this space on the inside in 4th gear. Okay, we are swimming in focus and we're coming out of the twisty section to go down the back straight all the way towards the finish line. We have a long way to go, so let's not get too carried away. We want to try to get through this hairpin in first gear, but we're not going to manage it. The best we can do is park on it and cause some problems for the cars behind, which I don't mind doing. I am going to go flat out on those dice. That's going to be 4 more focus as we end in first gear. 1, 2, 3, 4. Plenty of focus now. Right, what I have forgotten, but what wouldn't have made a difference, is that the purple car has turn order. So it's actually going first this round. It moves 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. That was its move, puts it in second. So that officially happened before we got to our hairpin. Next up, green. Green is going to want to move 5 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Comes around the outside in first gear. The blue car behind them wants to move 5 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They are also going to end in first gear. Ready for the hairpin. The yellow car is going to move 5 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and end in third gear. And finally, the red car comes back on its wheels and moves over into gear 0. The yellow car is going to want to move 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. It can. It's going to end in first gear, right in the middle of the circuit. The purple car wants to move 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And they're going to end in third gear on the apex. We are next. We need to stretch all the way to the far side of the table. We are in first gear. We're going to go as far as we can. We've got so much focus that we can guarantee lots of dice. We want the inside lane, but seeing as the driverless cars can't get up to gear 6, as long as we aim for that, we will be in good stead. Right, one by one. I'm not going to take the risk. We are good with our first 3 dice. Good with our next 3. We absolutely could have gone flat out. Look at that, flawless. We have moved all the way over here into 6th gear. Ready for the back straight. Right. Next up is the green car. The green car is going to want to move 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're going to end on a split space in 4th gear. They're going to take the lower speed limit, that of the corner. They finish ready for the long back straight. The blue car behind them has a chance to overtake. They're going to move 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. They are going to overtake, but they're also going to be in 4th gear. And finally, the red car all the way at the back, making up the numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces of movement. They're going to end in 2nd gear as they limp back to the pits, I suppose. And that is another round already. I'd like to use the red line rules at this point, but I haven't said that I'm going to use them. So we're going to maintain turn order. If I put myself in 6th gear there, then we shall do that. We have to break down to gear 4 in order to get there. But I feel confident with the amount of focus that we have. I could have gone flat out again, even though we end with 2 hazards. Confident in short turn that ends in 6, knowing that they can't catch up to us. Right, the blue car. It's going to do its best though. Moves 5 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And they're going to be in 5th gear. The green car is going to move 5 spaces as well and end in 5th gear. I don't know what I was doing with these markers. Clearly I've forgotten what colour is what. Green, 5. There we are. Next up, purple. Purple is going to move 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3. Are they going to lose control? They are. Again, they've done so off the circuit. The red car moves 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. Puts them in 3rd gear. And finally, the yellow car, after it sees the purple car career off the track in front of them. The yellow car has 5 points of movement. It wants to avoid hazards where possible. It is possible to avoid the hazards, so it goes the long way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ends in 4th gear at the start of the back straight. We are into the next round, and we are going to slow down for what we hope is an easy victory. We're going to duck into 5th gear, down into 4th, down into 3rd, through the corner in 2nd, coast through a little bit more, and why not, I'm going to end in 1st gear over there, and hopefully distance will be the key. 1 by 1, even though I've been rolling very good. Hazard on the 3, coast is good, coast is good, and the 1 was our 2nd hazard. I could have gone for a time trial with these rolls. Alas, the green car is next, and the green car wants to move 5 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remains in 5th gear. The blue car behind it moves 4 spaces, ending in 5th gear. The yellow car moves 5 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ending in 5th gear. The red car has a chance to not finish last, except 1, 2, 3, that it has just rolled 2 hazards and has lost control. Did we pull damage for the purple car? I don't think we did. So the purple car had effectively a green flag. The red car, who has now actually spun, has changed the weather. So we immediately flop over our dashboard to the wet weather, and so too the driverless car dashboards. Now they're going to move less than their usual until they swap over their tyres in the pits. So the purple car is going to move back into the track in gear 0, and he has changed his tyres. They move 2 spaces plus the results of 3 brake dice in wet weather. So the green car wants to move 5 spaces, but it is on the wrong tyres, so it's going to move 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. It wants the outside. It is in a space where it can change its tyres, so it does go over into gear 0, and it would be off track for doing so. At least that is how I think the rules are working. I will certainly check once I have the time. Again, the blue car is going to move 5 if it can, but it can only move 4 on the wrong tyres. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's also going to come off track and change its tyres. The yellow car is wanting to move 3 spaces, so it might lose control. It moves 1, 2, 3. It's going to need 1 extra hazard to lose control, so it hasn't lost control. It too is in a space where it can change its tyres, so everyone is coming into the pits to change their tyres, apart from us, who I think can get close to the finish line at any rate and not lose control. So we are going to do our best to do that. If we coast into the final corner, go through in 2nd, up to 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th would put us over the line. We have so much focus that rolling a hazard on the 1 is no big problem, except rolling a hazard on the coast is a big problem. So we have moved 2 spaces and lost control of our car. Maybe I should have used all of this focus. Luckily, we're in gear 1. We're in an orange zone. We pull absolutely no damage. and we are in gear 0. We remain on track in that space. The purple car is on its good tyres, so it will move the full distance, which is 4 for its roll. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to end in 4th gear. And finally, the red car rejoins the track in 0 gear. Its 2 will be able to change its tyres. Right, everyone has changed their tyres apart from me. The purple car is going to move first. Purple car has moved 4 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4, and ends in 5th gear. The next is me in 0 gear. So I'm going to pretty much do what I was trying to do last time. We're going to have a safer, well, it was as safe as it could be, and it still rolled 2 hazards. So I'm not quite sure if the dice know what safe is. We are going to roll that. I do have the focus to pay for things this turn. If I get a hazard, I will be spending the focus. As it happens, we have rolled. Oh, doesn't matter if we crash over the line. No, we don't crash. We have sailed over the final space of Mount Panorama in 4th gear. A clear lead over our driverless cars who are strewn across the back straight after having spun and crashed and changed the weather. And that was a race around Mount Panorama with driverless cars and the urban rule. Not that we saw much use of it. We will have to keep that rule in mind as we go around places like Monaco, for example. That would be a good place to pull it out. Hopefully your lap around the Principality goes better than this. These circuit-specific rules are easy to apply, and it's just as easy to make your own. No such rules currently exist for rally stages, so why not stretch your creative muscles and contribute some ideas to the Rallyman community? You might well inspire the next lot of players, just like ODaly has here. Whatever you do, have fun, and I will catch you next time. Oh, there we are, new round.